What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I wanted to break down what's going on with SPY, Tesla, Nvda, and a couple of other tickers. I'm also going to break down some very important dates coming out for next week and what the charts are suggesting moving forward. But before I begin to tell this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull and deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 free stocks. You deposit $25,000 or more, you're guaranteed 75 of them, and offerings in just 4 days. Anyways, from the market, we have a lot of big dates coming out for next week as we have FOMC, not to mention some big earnings. And almost every day we have something big starting between Tuesday and Thursday. So I want to break down something very interesting that's going on. So we're going to start off with what's happening for next week. Next week is going to start with Monday, April 29th. We just have some manufacturing numbers and bill auctions, very minor data. For Tuesday, we have the Chicago PMI report and more Dallas services data coming out. It's all very minor as well. However, Wednesday is going to be a massive day for data because, firstly, we have manufacturing numbers and the JOLTS job openings report. That's going to be pretty important. And then simultaneously, as time goes on, we have more manufacturing numbers. And later on, we have the FOMC meeting on Tuesday, May 1st. So, what's so important about this? The Fed is most likely going to keep rates the same at 5.5%. That's what we're looking at, the forecast, the consensus, and they're most likely going to do that. That's what the market is pricing in and expecting. But then at 2:30 p.m., we have Jerome Powell giving his speech. Whatever Jerome Powell says, whatever his tone is, could have a big effect on whether or not the market continues to rally. The market is on an uptrend. We're seeing SPY trying to balance right now. It could continue to push higher next week. But the question is, will we get a big rug pull thanks to Powell, or is the market going to bounce? We have to be open-minded just to be safe, and we'll see what Jerome Powell has to say. There is a risk of him being a bit more hawkish because we ended up seeing the last couple of inflation reports being a little bit harder than expected. And if Powell says anything about that, anything that triggers the market to turn or switch directions, there's still a risk of that. So please be open minded and be prepared for that just to be safe. For Thursday, we have more data coming out. We have initial jobless claims and such. And then for Friday, we have the notorious government payrolls, non farm payrolls, and more data involving services. So data is going to be very, very important on Wednesday in particular. It's going to be the most important day. Also, Friday is kind of important. So we'll have to see how things go. But Wednesday and Friday are going to be two very important data days. For earnings, and here's the funny thing about this. For earnings, we have pretty much even more important stuff coming out. Monday has SoFi and Paramount. They're going to be very important, at least as the day goes on, for those two in particular. For Tuesday, we have PayPal announcing earnings before the market opens. We have Amazon after the market closes, Amazon and AMD, and Supermicro as well. It's going to be a big one. For Wednesday, we have Pfizer and a few others like CVS, more retail. Then we have Carvana and a few others after the market closes. And then finally, for Thursday, we have Peloton, not to mention Aapl and Coinbase. And then for Friday, we have Hershey and a couple of others. But the most important ones are going to be coming out on Tuesday and Thursday when we have notorious PayPal slash Amazon announcing earnings for Tuesday. Also, Coca-Cola is going to be a big one. And then for Thursday, we have Apple. It's going to be a huge one. Can't wait to see what that causes for the markets. And we'll have to be very patient nonetheless. So it's going to be very interesting because, we have Monday coming out. We have a few earnings. Tuesday, we have lots of big tech earnings coming out. Wednesday, Wednesday, we have Jerome Powell and FOMC. Thursday, we have Apple earnings. Then Friday, we have more important data for the services sector. So we have big stuff coming out almost every day of next week. And I can't wait to see what this causes for the markets. It's going to be very fun to watch for and trade. Right now, the market is still fearful, but we're getting very close to neutral as we're starting to see buyers returning. You guys can see the market momentum is back to neutral. We're starting to see the puts and call ratio back down to fear. So it used to be at extreme fear. Now we're back to fear. We're seeing puts being closed, calls being bought, and also shares being bought to kind of like hedge for that. It's still happening even as I speak. So we're starting to see more hedging, more buyers stepping in, and they're continuing to defend their positions with more positive order flow. We saw a lot of buying pressure on SPY today. For the VIX, we're neutral right now. We're back approaching our 50 daily moving average. And we'll have to see if that breaks or not. If we lose that, it could dip a little bit more. And there is a risk of that for next week because we could see a bit more upside. With that being said, guys, what do I see on the charts? I'm going to be very quick with this and just go over 5 of them because it is Friday. It is a weekend coming up, so I want to be kind of quick. So what I'm seeing for SPY is we look bullish. I think that this 4-hour imbalance up here is going to get filled to at least 512. Then we could even go up to the 514s. I find that's to be very, very probable. So I just want to make it very, very important, a very important note that we could continue to push I think that we could easily try to get up to this imbalance, but there could be a little dip coming first before we do that. We could retest our key EMAs on the 4 hour time frame in this 506 area first before we try to continue to push higher. So I find that to be very probable approaching FOMC. Don't forget that the big earnings coming out will affect us like Amazon and PayPal, but I still favor this is going to try to kind of like drop a bit and try to bounce. There's a very good chance we might come up to try to fill these imbalances on SPY. With SPY potentially bouncing, this could help Tesla push up higher. However, Tesla had some negative news involving their autopilot and also another probe that was opened to investigate what happened with their quote unquote recall. Once again, I said quote unquote recall. I'm not saying it's an official recall because all Tesla had to do was use a over the air software update to fix some issues. This happened like many months ago, but now we're starting to see the NHTSA investigating that. So that's why we saw a little bit of negative price action from Tesla. And there were some negative claims made by many Fed basically reporters and officials who are a part of that. So that's very important. With that happening, Tesla could dip a little bit more. I could see a little bit more downside before it tries to bounce back up. I still think there's potential for this. It might retest 167.5 to 165, then bounce, and it could try to make its way back up to 175 later on for the week. There's even more potential upside for 178, but look for a little dip first before we get that bounce. For Nvidia could be pushing higher. I think that this has more upside potential. We're approaching 885. If that breaks, look for 892. We could be. I think it's going to try to go all the way up to about 900. I think that's a very psychological level, and I think that the trend is still very strong. So I expect 900 as Nvidia is squeezing. For the QQQ, we're at resistance at the 4 hour 200 EMA, and notice how it's kind of struggling to break through this. That doesn't mean it won't break through it. It just means that it might actually come down to our 50 EMA again, retest 428 before we try to bounce back up. But I still find that to be very probable. This is going to be heavily dictated by what we see, not just from FOMC, but also from Amazon's earnings and Apple's as well. So I think that there could be a little dip coming. It might rebound and try to grab liquidity again at 428, retest previous support becoming resistance, and we're going to try to be pushing right back up, in my personal opinion. And then for Apple has earnings, and as of right now, we have this big imbalance to fill at 172. I think we're slowly going to push up there, approaching earnings. I think it might try to push higher, but earnings on Thursday is going to play a big role in whether or not this bounces or not, if we get a big rug pull or not. So that's what I'm seeing for the chart, at least for the time being. Just a few more to note. I just want to note that the VIX is in a very, very critical position. Sorry, I have it right over here. Sorry about that, guys. We're approaching 15 as support. If we lose this, this could start to sink all the way down to this next support. We also have a gap to fill all the way down in 12.97. If this continues to lose 15, I think it's going to fill this gap, which suggests that the market has more upside coming. But then the VIX is going to get a big bounce later on as we approach our key support. So I think that it might dip a bit more. It looks a bit more bearish because the market's looking bullish. And that's what I'm seeing for now. There is more potential for a bounce. Market's very tricky, guys. It's been a very, very tricky market this week. Lots of insane price action. It's been absolutely insane. So we'll have to see how things go. But with that being said, I think I'm going to conclude the video from here. I know a weekend is coming up. I want to note something, guys. I might not post a video tomorrow. I know I typically don't do this on the weekends. I just kind of feel like I need a break for just a short period of time. I'll be back on Sunday for sure. I might post a video tomorrow if I have time. We'll have to wait and see. But I kind of feel like I need a little break for the time being. So if I don't feel the best, I might not post a video tomorrow. So don't really panic if that happens. I'm going to be completely fine, most likely. Things are going to be fine. I will be back on Thursday, 100% for sure. I will be back on, sorry, not Thursday, on Sunday. On Sunday, I'll be back. So Sunday, I will be back to record another video and I will upload it. On Saturday, I'm not 100% sure if I will upload another video. I'm going to see how I'm feeling. I'm just saying this because of the fact that I end up having to see. I'm just in a position where I just want to take a little break. I guess I just have a lot going on in my mind, lots of issues with family and this and that. But everything's okay, nothing too crazy. Just wishing for that everything turns out okay, and I just think that it's something I want to do. So with that being said, I will for sure see you guys again on Sunday. I might see you tomorrow, depending on how I'm feeling, whether if I want to take a break or not. We'll see. I do think I want to do that, so we'll see how it goes. And with that being said, I just want to say I appreciate everyone. Thank you all so much for listening. I'll see you guys either tomorrow or on Sunday. For sure by Sunday. No, yeah, like I could guarantee that I will be back by Sunday almost. So I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you for listening, guys. I really appreciate all of you. Enjoy the weekend, and I'll see you guys very soon on the next one. Thank you for listening, and peace out.